Hello and welcome back to 5-Minute Physiology. I'm Ken Vitale. I'm a professor at the university. I teach anatomy and physiology, in this case exercise physiology. This is some excerpts from lecture 2 all about lactate and calorie burn and the famous hitting the wall. Let's get into it. So most of you are familiar with glycolysis by now. We reviewed that in our prior lecture, but what happens when glycolysis just keeps going and going and going? Well, guess what? We're going to run out of NAD, right? We keep making NADH, NADH. We got to get some more NAD so glycolysis can continue. Well, enter lactate, right? Lactate is not a bad thing. This is a natural part of the body. We are producing a little bit of lactate all the time. Lactate certainly increases when we're cranking away with glycolysis and we get a lot of pyruvate. It's not fast enough to go through right here into the Krebs cycle, acetyl-CoA through here. And it, well, gets diverted across to lactate through LDH, and that regenerates that NAD so we can keep on going through glycolysis to get that little bit of energy. Remember from lecture 1, when we are going too hard and we are not fueling properly, well, pyruvate can go a different direction. Alanine, we have the whole alanine glucose cycle. That's not a good thing. That's when your body's literally cannibalizing itself. We covered that in the previous lecture. And lactate doesn't just do good things for the cell itself. There are systemic things going on. We are talking the Cori cycle. Not this cycle, not this cycle, the Cori cycle. Yeah, see what I did there? You like that little cycle in the cycle? This muscle, when it is cranking away and hammering out and needing more energy, even if it's just 2 ATP through glycolysis, doesn't have the time or luxury to go through this cycle, yet another cycle, right? Arrow going this way, nope, this is not fast enough, not a viable option. We need we need ATP and we need it fast. Well, we'll shunt the pyruvate to lactate. That goes out into the blood. By the way, that's called onset of blood lactate accumulation, OBLA. That is measurable. We check that all the time. When lactate starts rising in the blood, we know we are going through the Cori cycle, and that gets sent to the liver. Your liver says, I know what to do with this. I'll make some glucose, send it back out to that muscle, since the muscle can use glucose, and then we keep this cycle going. So Cori cycle is very useful. Lactate is not a waste product by any means. When your body makes lactate and sends it out into the Cori cycle, yes, it goes to the liver that we just talked about, but it still does more things and serves more functions for different parts of the body. Your brain, your heart, your kidney, they can all use it for energy. That is pretty cool. Actually, the brain really prefers lactate. It really easily uses it for energy. So lactate is absolutely not a waste product. Like I said, there's this big mythology with lactic acid and lactate. Oh, I'm feeling the burn. I got too much lactic acid in my body. Your body has lactate all the time, and it uses it all the time for very important reasons. It regenerates NAD, like we just talked about, and the Cori cycle, via what you saw from the last slide, sends lactate into the liver when you are hammering away at that marathon and you've gone through all your glycogen and you're basically about to hit the wall. Your body can use that lactate and replenish a little bit of a glucose source or glycogen reserves to use it for that exercising muscle. All right, so let's finish up with some fun facts. Lactic acid gets produced very quickly, 10 times faster than at normal activities, but it is gone just as fast too. 30 to 60 minutes, it is back to baseline out of those muscles. So guess what? It does not cause DOMS, right? That is not from lactic acid because it's already gone by the next day when you're sore. That comes from micro tears in muscle fibers, not lactic acid. Another cool thing about lactic acid is that it can bind to certain receptors and actually reduce the sensation of pain. How about that? And yet another cool thing it can do for the brain, not only as a fuel source, it can help with neuroplasticity, right? The ability for the brain to stay flexible, especially as we age. Lactic acid is pretty cool. Now, many of you have probably heard of lactic acid and say, hey, wait a minute, isn't that what happens when you make sauerkraut? Yeah, that's actually lactic acid that is preserving the food. Some people might not be sauerkraut fans. Well, guess what? Maybe you like yogurt. That's also lactic acid. And if you were curious in terms of who discovered it, Swedish chemist here, found it from sour milk. And if you're thinking sour, you probably know where I'm going. Gosh, I'm getting hungry here. Sourdough. That's lactic acid and acetic acid, which is pretty cool. Lactic acid gives the yogurt, like acetic acid gives the vinegar. You combine that, it is tangy. And whoa, we're at 5 minutes. Better stop now.